Okay guys, linear functions and everything that you need to know about them. So, linear means straight line, okay? We're gonna have a straight line, and in that straight line we have something called a slope, which is also rate. Rate is slope. How you spell rate? S-L-O-P-E. How you spell slope? R-A-T-E, right? Okay, our rise, we're counting the y values. Our run, we're counting the x values. So you can find 2 points, label them as x1, y1, or sorry, yeah, x1, y1 and x2, y2, and then put them into this slope formula. You will have that on the STAR test. Or you can put it in Desmos and then find your number in front of x, okay? You can do it either way you would like. If you have a graph that is just going by ones, you can count your rise up 4 and run over 2 to have 4 over 2 here. 4 over 2 does simplify to 2. So we have a positive, because it's going up to the right, slope of 2. However, if you have different numbers here, you cannot just count the lines. You actually have to count the numbers. If we have these going by 10s and these going by 2s, you're not going to be able to do your rise over run. You need to actually count from this value of y to this value of y, and from this value of x to this value of x, okay? Our y-intercept is right there where it crosses the y-axis. And guys, on the STAR test, the y-axis and the x-axis are always labeled. Look for those to know which one is going to be the y-axis and which is the x-axis, so you can know your y-intercept and your x-intercept. It is always, always labeled. All right, and then we will have our x-intercept like we just talked about. Okay, let's talk about writing equations from this. Generally on Desmos, or on STAR, you will have multiple choice questions, so you can just type in the equations to see which one is the same line. But you need to find 2 points. Sometimes you can use your x and y intercepts, or just find some other point where it crosses, put one of those points in to see which line is the same. Or you can put these points into a table like down here, and it will give you your equation. All you need is 2 points. If you know it's linear and you have your 2 points, you put your 2 points into your table and get your equation. That's it, okay? Let's talk about word problems. Okay, if you see the word rate, that's going to be your slope. Okay, whatever is right there connected with rate, that's your slope. Also, if you see the word per, this is talking about feet per minute. Okay, feet per minute. That is our rate, our slope. This is generally going to be our y value, and this is generally going to be our x value. Why is that? Because go back to rise over run, it's y over x. Our slope is always talking about y over x. So if you need to say what a slope is talking about, you're talking about this, the y values, so whatever the y-axis is labeled, over whatever the x-axis is labeled. This would be feet, and this would be minutes. Okay, your y-axis would be labeled feet, your x-axis would be labeled minutes. So feet per minute. That's going to be what this slope is talking about. Okay, plane, it's descending. So that means that this plane is going down. So it's going to have a negative slope. There's where our negative is coming from. There's our slope. Hey, look, that's the number in front of x. Our slope is the number in front of x. It begins its descent. Begins, that means where it started at. That's our initial value. It's also the y-intercept, okay? Our initial value is the y-intercept. They are the same thing. Whenever it talks about landing or hits the ground, that means its height is 0. It has gotten all the way to the bottom. It has hit the x-axis. In other words, the x-intercept. Whenever it lands, hits the ground, is done, whatever, that means our x-intercept, okay? We got a table? We put it in Desmos, we get the equation. All right, there's your y-intercept, there's your x-intercept. You can see that it has a positive slope. There is your positive slope, there is your y-intercept. Remember, this is your M and that's your B, your slope and your y-intercept.